Hello and welcome to this webinar. My name is David Leahy and I'm the Managing Director of Great People Inside. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to help your clients achieve their strategic goals, but also while making a recurring income for your own business too. My background through my career has been mainly in the healthcare segment, where I've worked with large multinationals, global organizations. I've also worked with SMEs. And for the past 10 or 11 years, I've run my own successful coaching practice and my own consultancy. And so I understand that as consultants, we are driven to ensure that the outcome we deliver for our clients is the very best outcome that they can get. We're very customer centric, and we realize that to grow our business and to sustain our business, it's really important that the outcomes we deliver for our clients are most important. Our clients hold us accountable to this as well. And so they measure our performance based on how well we have delivered the required outcome for them. And so while I understand that this is our main motivation is making sure that the strategic goals of our clients are delivered, more importantly, in a way, is that we need to make a living and make a recurring income so we can continue to deliver added value to our clients' business. And that's a bit about what we'll talk about today. So what will you learn today from this time? So today we'll cover off on 5 key principles to help you deliver quality outcomes for your clients. We'll also explore options in terms of how you can offer a wider range of solutions for your clients. So you can expand that portfolio of service offering that you currently have to generate additional sources of revenue and additional opportunities for you to add value to your clients. And we'll also explore, obviously, how to add a significant recurring revenue. And we'll talk a bit about what I mean by recurring revenue as we go through the discussion today, or the presentation today, to make sure that there's clarity around what we mean by recurring income. So I came across this slide here, and it's from a company called Deltek. And they did a survey in 2019 about the challenges that currently face us consultants. And I'm sure most of these will resonate with you because they certainly resonated with me. So they talk about changing client behaviors being the #1 challenge for consultants today. And this is very true. Buyers of professional services today, like as with all consumers, because we're far better informed, are quite demanding. And they're not big fans of the billable hour concept, where they don't really have a handle on what they're going to be charged for a particular task or job or project. And so they prefer that fixed fees and transparency around costs. And so the second element is that clients today, they're more willing to shop around. So they understandably, they've got more sway. So they demand greater value, greater flexibility, and also lower prices. So it's much easier for them to compare what the price offerings are. And as we all know as consultants, once we get into the discussion around price, as opposed to the discussion around the value we deliver, potentially we end in that, what do they call it, the race to the bottom, to see who can provide the cheapest price. And obviously the last point then was a lot of new competition. So there's lots of, inverted commas, consultants arriving in the market today and putting that title over their door and saying, I'm a consultant. And new technologies help them to do that and to deliver more with less. It's very easy to be more efficient in your back office and to create an impression of a business that is larger than it is, and perhaps even to enhance the service offering that you have to make it look better maybe than it actually is. And these are all the challenges that we have as consultants, and certainly something that I've been very familiar with, understanding what those headwinds that I was meeting. And so I wanted to look a little bit about, from my perspective and my experience, what are the challenges and the problems, the common problems that as a consultant I come across. And number one is that there's just not enough time for business development. So as I started earlier on saying, look, we're really driven by this desire to make sure that we deliver awesome service or amazing service to our clients and exceed their expectations in terms of what we deliver for them. And this takes time. It takes time in preparation and it takes time in delivery. And as a result of having that commitment of time, it doesn't always allow us the scope for business development. And obviously the challenge with that is that if we don't have time for business development, it becomes more and more difficult to fill our pipeline and make sure that we actually have enough business coming through in work in the future. And the second challenge we have is around flat revenue, and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we end up not having enough time for business development because we're out there delivering the work, and as a result, we look at our business. Maybe I don't know about you, but after I was in business for about 2 or 3 years, it became very clear that I had reached, certainly begun to reach a pinnacle or a flattening in revenue. So it was quite predictable from year to year over those first 3 or 4 years as to what I was capable of earning for the business, primarily because of the number of hours that were there in the week, and those available hours in terms of delivery and back office and business development. And so that was quite challenging. I mean, most of our I suppose our business development, going back to that point, that we do nowadays is, we do things like networking, we go to networking meetings, we have digital marketing, we have blogs that we have to write, etc., activities on social media, etc., and all that consumes our time. And so as a result, what we end up with is a challenge in terms of growing the business because of the capacity that we have in terms of our ability to deliver the actual work that we provide, or the services that we provide. And then the third one that really sort of has sort of harbored my thinking for quite a number of years has been not being sure of my next step. So as Einstein said, if you keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome, you are truly insane. And so after year 3 or year 4, that's exactly what I was saying to myself. I think I've gone insane because I'm doing the same thing and nothing is changing. Nothing is different. There's still only so many hours in the week. And okay, so we work 12 hours a day. We've got 60 hours a week. We've got a bit of a weekend as well that maybe we can consume some time. So where do we have that time to spend with family or to deliver the pleasurable activities in our lives, and to achieve the pleasurable activities and do some travel and spend some time with friends and whatever? We don't have that time if we're constantly working. So we spend the working time that we have consumed with work and consumed with making sure we've got something coming through the pipeline, but we know we need to change something, but we're not exactly sure of what our next step should be. And I think as this slide sort of depicts, it can be quite nerve-wracking. We're standing on the edge and we know we have to jump, and we need the leap of faith, but it can be sometimes scary to think about maybe investing in something else, or another product or service, or a tangible aspect to add to our portfolio of services that maybe could generate some additional revenue to us. Maybe get accredited in another area and see if we can add that. These are all the thoughts that go through our head. Should we bring in a partner? Should we have some employees? All those discussions come into our head, and it can be quite challenging to make those decisions, and it leaves us unsure of our next step. And so the result of all that is the challenges that exist in terms of the situation that we find ourselves in. So here's 3 situations that, as I said, I found myself in and I'm very familiar with. One was around lead generation. And as I said, our lead generation is mainly delivered through things like digital marketing, networking, word of mouth, conferences, and they're all really great for generating leads, but they also consume quite a lot of our time. And it's a precious commodity, and we're only really generating revenue and generating income when we're delivering for clients. We're not generating revenue or generating income when we're shaking hands and kissing babies, I think, as the politicians call it. It's very, very challenging. The second situation that I certainly was familiar with too is around that lead conversion. How do we convert the leads? And by converting the leads, one of the issues that comes up for consultants is how do we stand out from the competition? As I mentioned earlier in my first slide around those challenges where there's lots of competition, where there's demands from the customer in terms of service offering and price. And so how do we stand out from the competition and demonstrate that what we offer is truly different, innovative, and removes that need to just discuss price only, but to talk more about what the value is that we're delivering to the clients and what the outcomes are that they will get as a result of working with us. And so that lead conversion is also a major challenge. The other situation that consultants often find themselves in is that we have this challenge with regards to consistency of income. So as consultants, most of the time we have an offering that includes a payment schedule. So when our contract is accepted, or our proposal is accepted, our contract usually has a payment schedule that perhaps includes a significant portion of the payment up front, with maybe a scheduled payment halfway through the project and perhaps some at the end. And so what we end up with is this lumpy sort of income that we've got a really strong sales revenue in one month where we invoice out the proposals that have been accepted, and then we go delivering the work and we fall into that canyon again, so to speak, where we're struggling to keep a consistent revenue happening in our business. And that can be quite a challenge for us. It can be a little bit unnerving, where one month you have a fantastic performance and you feel you've cracked it, or maybe one quarter, and the next quarter there's not a lot in the bottom drawer, so to speak, because you haven't had the time for the business development, you haven't been able to convert the leads, and so the circle continues. So what's the result of all this? What happens in that event? You know, if we follow the Einstein quote and don't change anything and just keep doing the same thing, the result is that our worst fears are realized. And by our worst fears being realized, I mean business failure. So our business doesn't succeed, that it becomes unviable for us. And it only takes, one client or, a couple of clients that are very supportive of us. A change occurs, either a buyout or a change in management, or a slowdown in their business, where the first person out the door is usually the consultant, where it's easy to put a cross through it and say, we don't need that person, or we don't need that service anymore, our business can survive. And as a result, the impact on us as consultants is that we end up business failure. And the result of that is that we end up working for the man, as I think Roy Orbison said, for those of you that are old enough. And so working for the man is really going back to the 9 to 5. So we may have to decide that if the business is not viable, we have no choice but to go back and go back into the workforce. And for anybody who has run a consultancy or their own autonomous business for a while, it's a very difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult transition to make, to go back into that merry-go-round of working for somebody else and taking a fixed income and not having control over your own destiny and your own future. And so that transition can be quite scary to return to the area of working for somebody again. So what's your vision and what's your sort of future when you think about what you're looking for in terms of your business? Where do you see yourself in your business in 2 or 3 years? What's your vision for your business itself? If I was to ask you, to put a forecast together for the next 3 years, would that be easy? Would you have clarity? Have you got contracts signed with clients where you've got a guaranteed income for the next 3 years? Or are you on the month to month? Are you on the situation or quarter to quarter, where you have those peaks and troughs that you have to deal with? what are your desires? Certainly my desires, what drove me in my business was always about having a healthy sales funnel. And by healthy sales funnel, what I mean by that is that we know where the next quarter, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, we know out as far, believe it or not, as where the next 2 years is. And so what that allows us to do is not to have that pressure of having to chase every month and chase every proposal down to the nth degree, so that we can have some security of income, because the work we've done or the services we're providing are allowing us to have a healthy sales funnel coming through. And obviously the other desire is around having money in the bank. We all have desires around trying to have a lifestyle and an income that allows us to enjoy life with our families, with our friends. Things like simple things, for example, like 4 weeks annual leave. Obviously, one of the advantages in working with somebody is as an employee is that you're guaranteed to get your 4 weeks annual paid leave. You're also guaranteed to get your sick leave allocation. But what happens as a consultant when you can't go out there and deliver, or when you can't, and I'm just talking about common cold, I'm not talking about serious illness, because naturally we can insure for that. But what about when you've got a cold for a week and you just don't feel up to going out, and that week therefore, because you're not in front of the client, you're not generating revenue, pushing that revenue out further. What about if you want to go on holidays for 2 weeks with the family? Can you do that? Can your business continue, your consultancy practice continue when you're not physically there? And it may, when I say physically there, I'm not talking there about only doing the delivery. I'm also talking about doing the back end of that networking, generating the business and the business development element that you need to do. And certainly another desire we have as consultants is to have happy clients. I know for me, there's no greater pleasure than to work with clients who really appreciate the work that I'm doing for them, or the outcomes that they're experiencing. And happy clients is a happy you, so it makes us happy too, that our clients are achieving what they want to achieve. And I think it's a goal, I think, when we start out our consultancy in the first place, that we want to have awesome outcomes for our clients, and we also want to have great outcomes for ourselves too. And that's a desire certainly that I hold dear to my heart in terms of my consultancy. The other element that the sort of desire we have is around loyal clients that stick with our business because of the value we provide. So what do I mean by that? We all have clients that, inverted commas, love us. They enjoy interacting with us. They enjoy our expertise. They enjoy us not only delivering, but also being a trusted advisor to their business. And they value that relationship and the support that provides them in their business. They value that external perspective that we bring to the business. And so what we would like is, as a desire, is to have more of those loyal clients that stick with our business, so that have a reason to stick. And sometimes, in my experience, I have found that while there's a service offering in a niche in which we're operating, it's not always possible for the clients that love you to continue spending money with you because they have exhausted the bulk of the services that they need from you at that particular time. So despite the fact that they love you and they'd love to do more work with you, they don't have the opportunity to do that because you just don't have the service offering perhaps, or the product that they want to interact with. So what types of strategies can you deliver, and can you implement rather, to deliver those desires for you? And what I'd like to talk about now are these 5 key principles around what might be a strategy, what strategy should we implement, why should we do it, and what's the outcome of delivering that particular strategy. And one of the key principles that I would recommend is adding a new product or service. And as I say here, a handy hint is ideally it should be innovative. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the word innovation is one of the most widely overused words in the English language, and certainly in business parlance today. A lot of the time, people talk about innovation, but if you ask them to define what innovation is, it's very difficult to do that. And so we all have our own beliefs about what is innovative, and certainly products that come to the market with a first, so think Coca-Cola and Pepsi, so the Coca-Cola jump that they got on the market, that was quite innovative in terms of the way they created that product and marketed and sold, etc. I suppose McDonald's and Hungry Jack's would be another example of it was innovative the way McDonald's did what they did at the time to create a business that way. So if you can add a new product or a service, make sure that it's innovative, make sure that it provides you with, I suppose, an edge over your competition. And why would you do this? You would do it because it adds an additional income source to your business, whether it be a new product or a new service. If it's well thought out, if it's well implemented and well strategized in and how you deliver it, it will develop a new income source for you. And the outcome of that is money in the bank. Now, I understand that you might be sitting there or standing there or listening and saying, David, that's not rocket science. I agree, it's not rocket science. The rocket science part comes in the selections that you make around what you add in terms of a product or a service to your business. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. The second key principle is about differentiating your business. So if you remember what I said earlier on, that when we submit a proposal, we need to stand out from the competitors. The why, the outcome, is to close more sales leads. If we have a service offering or product offering or a value add that completely differentiates us or helps to differentiate us from our clients and differentiate the value add, well then it makes it, I suppose, very challenging for our competitors to match our service offering and match the approach that we have to our particular clients. And the handy hint I talk about here is ensuring that what you're offering is customizable. Why do I say that? It's pretty common now in everyday consumerism that everything we do, we expect a level of customization associated with it. We want to buy what we want to buy. We want to choose what we want to choose in terms of the service. So there's certainly customization that comes from, if you take a Qantas or a Virgin, the choice we have in terms of how we interact with them as businesses. They definitely offer a level of customization, whether we want to pay with points or pay with cash or pay with cash and points. There's lots of opportunities we have. Do we want frequent flyer points or not? Do we want to, how do we want to travel? So there's different levels of service that we can select from their menu. So ideally, ensuring that you have a customizable service that's relatively easy to customize for your clients. It doesn't take a lot of time for you and doesn't consume a lot of effort on your part, will give you that edge in terms of differentiating yourselves from your competitors. I hope this is making sense and that I'm helping to, I suppose, challenge your thinking in terms of possible ways of growing your business. And certainly these are elements that I've implemented with my clients and with my channel partners as well. So the third key principle is develop a recurring revenue stream. Now, the handy hint here is about ensuring it's not dependent on significantly selling your time. And what do I mean by recurring revenue? So people use the terminology, and I remember it used to be bandied around a lot I heard Amway people talk about, and there's nothing wrong with Amway, but Amway people talking about passive income, earning money while you're asleep. Excuse me. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a recurring revenue, excuse me, which is a revenue that is contracted or occurs with minimal input from you. And what that provides is it provides consistency of income. Excuse me, I'm a frog, my throat isn't good. It provides consistency of income, and it provides you with a secure sales funnel. So it's not uncommon in these types of recurring revenue streams to have this won't go with this fly, to have a revenue stream that is contracted for 1, 2, or 3 years. And just for a moment, reflect on what the impact would be on your business if you had a product or a service offering that allowed you to contract with your clients for 1, 2, or 3 years, 3-year period. And what would it do to your vision for your business? If you think back on that slide I showed you earlier on, what would it do for the vision of your business if you could see down the road 2 years or 3 years out in terms of the guaranteed revenue that you have for your business? How much flexibility would that offer you in terms of building and growing and establishing a secure consultancy? The fourth key principle is about selling more to existing clients. The handy hint here is that there's lots of studies out there that tell us the most cost-effective approach is to sell more to existing clients. And the reason why is because getting new clients is hard. So for a moment, think on the last new client you secured, and it's likely, and I'm excluding referrals. If you think about a client where you had a strategy to go and engage a client and pursue them because you feel that it would be a good match for your business, securing that is hard. You spend significant time, effort in terms of acquiring that business. And if you can sell more to existing clients, if you think about those clients I mentioned earlier on, who love us, who want to deal with us, who enjoy our interaction and enjoy the value add and the external perspective we provide, if we have a service that is one that they use regularly, and particularly as HR consultants, a service that makes sense to them, then certainly it can be quite attractive to go back to your existing clients with an offering that allows them to do yet more business with you. And that's not to say that we don't look to add new clients, but just in terms of a key principle, the line of least resistance is certainly selling more to existing clients or to clients who we worked with in the recent past. And the outcome of all that will be, like I said earlier on, happy clients, happy you. So people who enjoy working with you and you enjoy working with, you're delivering even more value than you have delivered previously. The last key principle that I'd like to talk about is partnering with a relevant organization as a strategy. And when I say that, ideally partnering with a multinational company, perhaps with some local support. And the reason that we would do this and the why behind it is because it allows us to leverage their knowledge and resources. Multinational organizations have significantly more resources than we have as solopreneurs or small businesses. And so they have lots more knowledge, and they have resources and training that we can access. And what the outcome of that is that it helps to increase our skill set and also increases our credibility and our ability to provide added value to our clients, which is, as I said earlier on, what we all set out to do in the beginning. So there are 5 key principles and of how we can add additional revenue to our business, recurring revenue to our business, while delivering the strategies and the outcomes and the goals of our clients. So what I'd like to do for a moment is just talk a little bit about Great People Inside and the product offering that we have. And so we're currently expanding our channel partner network, and we're looking to work with HR consultants and L&D consultants and sales coaches and executive coaches and recruiters in terms of helping them to add value to their business to achieve those desires that we mentioned earlier on. This is just a case study about one of our Australian channel partners that we're currently working with, who had clients that we're working with, and very shortly after signing with us, they signed 2 unlimited contracts. So Great People Inside offers a customizable behavioral assessment platform that allows a client, for the first time in the world, it's a world first actually, for the first time ever, to measure precisely what they want to measure and what's important for them in their business. And the flexibility that customization of this product allows is it allows, for the first time, a client to say, look, what's really important for me in my business is it's important that I understand how my people are in terms of respect, how my people are in terms of managing generations. So we offer something, we offer 61 behavioral type dimensions, and we offer 38 360 dimensions, almost 100 dimensions that can be mixed and matched to deliver the outcomes for a client. And we offer pricing options that includes buying assessments one at a time, or buying as are needed. And we also offer unlimited contracts for clients who are keen to have a predictable cost per month, and also to allow them full access to the Great People Inside platform that we supply. And so this Australian channel partner signed 2 unlimited contracts. Client A was a company that had 350 employees, and they signed a two-year unlimited contract in July 2019. The total revenue for the 2 years with the client is 57,624, and the channel partner share was 20,168 profit, so straight profit to the bottom line. Very shortly after, as a month later, in fact, they signed a client with 115 employees, again a 2-year unlimited contract, where the total revenue per annum for 2 years is 35,352. And the channel partner share of that is something in the order of $13,000. So overall, the additional profit for the channel partner is $32,000 for the next 2 years. And that's just from 2 accounts. And so I suppose the point I'm making is that if in your strategy for 2020, you're thinking about what's your next step, perhaps it might be worthwhile to explore the Great People Inside opportunity to think about how becoming a channel partner with us may help to deliver some of the strategic outcomes for your business while helping your clients deliver the strategies they need. The Great People Inside platform is a full employee lifecycle platform. So it's not just about selection. It covers everything from selection through onboarding, through retention, through development, and succession planning. So it's a complete employee lifecycle platform, and it's the next generation. We call it a 21st century solution for 21st century people challenges. The second case study I want to talk about is just about an end user client that we're working with, a distribution business in Western Sydney with 350 employees. Now, their employee turnover, when we started speaking to them per annum, was 15%, which is not overly bad. There's lots of companies that would be really happy with the turnover of 15%, but they wanted to reduce that. And the estimated cost to the business of that employee turnover, based on a Business Victoria turnover calculator, was over $1 million. They signed a 2-year unlimited contract with us, and their annual cost was $28,812. 12 months later, they take a snapshot of their turnover for the previous year, and it's reduced by 4% to 11%. The cost of that is $740,000. But their estimated saving is $270,000 for an investment of $28,000. Almost a 10 to 1 return on dollar spent. So there's not many investments that organizations would make that would give them a 10 to 1 return for every dollar they spend. So that's just from the client perspective. So in summary, and I'm just about to finish up now, in summary, the 5 key principles that I mentioned, I'll just go back over them again quickly. So one of the strategies would be to add a new product or service, and the reason why you would do that is to have additional income and money in the bank. And perhaps Great People Inside is an opportunity for your business and something worth exploring. The second element is differentiating your business, stand out from the competitors, to help you close more sales leads. And if you remember, the handy hint that I mentioned was about having a customized solution. And Great People Inside is the only customized assessment and development platform in the world. So it's very easy to customize every element of what a client could need for their teams. The third what was around developing a recurring revenue stream. Why? This gives us consistency of income and a secure sales funnel. Interacting with a client with a product such as Great People Inside allows you to either to set them up with their own assessment platform, and allows you to provide them with products and services that will improve their business outcomes. no matter whether they're looking to measure values or whether they're looking to understand the well-being of people within their organization. Great People Inside can help to solve those challenges for them. As I said, they're real 21st century challenges, and we have a 21st century solution. The fourth element is around selling more to existing clients. And so I'm sure there's lots of your clients who have people challenges. In fact, one of the number one challenge that when you talk to CEOs that they have is around developing their people, understanding who they have in their teams and what they need for the future in this VUCA world and in this world that's constantly changing, the volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous world that is today in 2020. And the last one is about partnering with a relevant organization. And ideally, we said it should be, if it can be a multinational, that's great. And as it happens, Great People Inside is a multinational organization available in more than 20 different languages around the globe. So if your clients are local or they have overseas organizations, you can sell to them. So you can leverage their knowledge, their expertise, while at the same time generating recurring income for yourself and increasing your credibility with your clients. So that really brings me to the end of our short webinar information session. If you'd like to learn more about the Great People Inside Channel Partner Program, all you need to do is click on the link on our website, fill out the form, and we'll be in touch with you straight away. Or if you want to come directly to me, connect with me, David Leahy, on LinkedIn. I'd be delighted to talk to you. So I'd like to say thank you very much for your attention and time. I hope it was a good use of your time and that you learned something and I challenged your thinking. And I look forward to talking with you very soon. Thank you.